Doug Flynn joins us with his analysis. Certified financial planner, co-founder at Flynn Zito Capital Management. All right, so there's a couple of things on earnings today, I would say. I know they had the Fed talking about needing more evidence before they change their stance on rates. But we'll put up Lowe's is one I know we want to look at, and Best Buy. So if you look at both of those, companies cutting their sales outlooks. We have a screen that shows the numbers behind them on Best Buy and on Lowe's. What would you say about where the American consumer is right now, which you and I have talked about, that kind of held up pretty well. But what about now?
They did. And basically what you're having now is you're having sort of reduced outlook, which is the first sign of when things are going to get weaker. They put out a little bit of a weaker outlook. And companies tend to do that because if they put out a weaker outlook and they're able to actually overcome that, then it's good news. So they're kind of pre-setting out lower expectations. But the fact is things are weakening in the consumer economy. Things cost more. Everything is affecting what they're spending. So even though the consumer has held up, it's getting tighter and it's getting a little bit less able to spend what it did. And that's showing up in these future outlooks and earnings that are being lowered.
Also in the home sales data, again, another topic we've talked about with regard to interest rates being high, but people still out there buying homes. Today, however, and this is the next screen we have, existing home sales. Now we're at a 13-year low in home sales. So what does that tell us?
Yeah, I mean, when you take high prices, you take high interest rate, you take low inventory, and you mix that up, you end up with this current situation where existing home sales fall off a cliff. And it's actually down to the lowest point that it's been since 2010. And really what I think about is if you think about just last March, the same home with a 20% down payment costs today 44% more per month for people. That is a humongous amount of extra money to have to put down to buy a new home. And these are existing homes. New homes that are newly built, not the same situation because they can do some things with financing that they can't do with existing homes. But these are people that are just have had a house for a while. It's an existing house, and that has fallen off a cliff as far as right now is concerned.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I guess where rates go next will have a lot to do with where those prices go next. Last topic here, I suspect it's one of the ways for the producers of this show to, at least on the periphery, get a mention of Taylor Swift in. But Live Nation, the concert promoter, I mentioned this before the last break, subpoenaed. And this goes back to the ticket fiasco with Taylor Swift at Ticketmaster. There's some other artists involved, but she was the most, prominent. And now there's a subpoena. So this stuff's getting serious. What should we know about it?
So I think what happened was the government was inquiring and probing into what they're doing, and I don't think they were as forthcoming as the government would have liked. And so how you solve that is you slap them with a subpoena, and now they're probably regretting that they didn't give more information before, because now they're going to get a whole bunch of information. For instance, they're going to see the communications between Ticketmaster and the artists. Just what did they ask for? Are they really as altruistic as they said they were? You're going to find out things like that. I think about, private companies, secondary sellers. You can click a box that says, show me the all-in price with all the fees and charges. It's very simple to have that done. The problem comes in that there's a lot of fees. People sometimes see the initial price, and when you check out, it's a lot higher. So there's a lot going on. We're going to find out a lot of information, and it'll be quite interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, because it was a mess with Taylor Swift, the Springsteen tickets. There was a lot going on there with Ticketmaster. So maybe now we'll find out, what led up to all of it. Doug, good to see you as always. Doug Flynn on the Business News Today.